Borrel Link just got demoted from the tier list. This deck is still playable, and I'm going to go over the deck list with you. Let's go. We're running one Borrel Riot Dragon, one double Disruptor Dragon, Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon, double Levianeer, Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, triple Effect Veiler, Galactic Spiral Dragon, triple Rocket Tracer, Magna Rocket Dragon, Auto Rocket Dragon, triple Exploder Rocket Dragon, a Chronicle card Blue Eyes White Dragon, Rapid Trigger, 2 Forbidden Lance, 3 Quick Launch, triple Melody of the Awakening Dragon, 1 Heavy Interlock, and Necrofusion. As for the extra deck, we have 2 Borrel Furious Dragon, 1 Borrel Sword Dragon, 1 Borrel Dragon, triple Burst Dragon, Decode Talker, 2 Quad Borrel Dragon, and Delindrus. So we have a few different turn 1 plays that we can go for. We can go for a Borrel Riot Dragon play. That would just stop an inherent summon, and a lot of time we can get this off with a Levianeer as well. Levianeer is enough material to ritual summon Borrel Riot Dragon, and it hand rips. So that is a great combo. Another thing we can go for is a Borrel Furious Dragon play. This is Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer in Duel Links. We can do that because double Disruptor Dragon lets us search for Rapid Trigger. So we can just set up our board with a bunch of dragons, activate Rapid Trigger on their turn, potentially dodging some of disruptions they have to summon out a Borrel Furious Dragon. Borrel Furious Dragon has plenty of synergy with Rocket Tracer. You can target your own Rocket Tracer, chain your Rocket Tracer's effect to destroy itself, to summon another rocket from the deck. The chain will resolve backwards, and you'll still get Borrel Furious Dragon's destruction effect without actually sacrificing any of your own monsters. If your opponent's a fool and they decide to activate Effect Veiler on you, well, part 3 of your skill is live. If a monster is on your opponent's field or in their graveyard, get a free Link 2 from your extra deck. If they do that, you instantly get Quad Borrel Dragon and can Link climb all the way up into Borrel Sword Dragon and give yourself a Magna Rocket Dragon. When it's targeted by a Link monster, you'll be able to send any monster they control to the graveyard. That is a crazy effect, especially because Borrel Sword Dragon can target it as a quick effect. That's really, really good. All of that, again, after resolving Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This deck is not very linear, so most of the time you really need to think about what your matchup could be and how you're going to outplay those people. If you're facing off against a fusion deck, you definitely don't want to play Borrel Riot Dragon. It's not going to do anything. It only stops inherent summons. But it could be weak to Borrel Furious Dragon. If you know that deck does a lot of targeting, maybe you summon out a Decode Talker. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it, and it's not something that I can just straight up tell you what to do, because it's all matchup dependent. That's the beauty of this deck. This deck can basically adapt to its environment. This isn't just one of those decks where you just spam your skill and hope you win. This isn't an autopilot deck. This deck actually takes thought, because there's so many different combo lines you can go down that it really just depends on the situation. That's what the replays today are going to attempt to show you. There's so many different ways you can interact and win the game. You just need to know the right one in the right moment. All right, let's get into the first game. So we're facing off against Ghost Gal on a win streak. All right, so we are going to go second, and they're on a 6 win streak. So we're going to start off by activating Sky Striker Mobile Engage. Now let's just take a look. When it comes to facing Sky Striker players, you really just want to look for their disruptions. How many disruptions do you need to play through? Let's see. We're going to activate Ray, come forth Kagari. We're going to excavate the top 3 cards of the deck. What are we going to find? We're adding Widow Anchor. What does Widow Anchor do? Widow Anchor says if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, which they won't, you can target one face-up effect monster on the field and negate it, or if you have 3 or more spells in the graveyard, you can take control of that monster until the end phase. We're then going to activate Kagari, adding back the Engage. Activating Engage, again, we're just going to cycle. Multi-roll. Then, again, we're going to link off into Shizuku, and they're setting one, presumably a Widow Anchor, and they just searched another Widow Anchor. All right, let's take a look at this. So, looking at the graveyard, they don't have 3 or more spells, therefore Widow Anchor is going to negate us. The next thing, Ray. If a face-up Sky Striker Link monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon Ray. And then Ray also has another effect where you can quick effect tribute it to summon another Sky Striker Ace monster from the extra deck. If we get rid of Shizuku, they're summoning Ray and summoning yet another Link monster. We're going to start off our turn by activating our skill. We're going to reveal the double disruptor in our hand to send both Galactic Spiral Dragon and Borrel Riot Dragon to the graveyard, which lets us search Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. We're then going to activate Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, sending our Blue Eyes White Dragon from our deck to the graveyard to summon it out into attack position. We're then going to activate our skill, getting a free Quad Borrel Dragon. This is Link 2. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field, and you're locked into Link climbing for the rest of the turn, but you can destroy that targeted monster. And if it was a Link monster, you get a freely special summon any number of rocket monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard equal to the Link rating. We're going to target the Shizuku, which is a Link 1, which is going to give us a free special summon of a monster. We're going to discard the Double Disruptor Dragon. They let it go through. They could not afford to let that go through. Everything is going according to our plan. They're going to activate Ray. We're going to chain Quick Launch. The chain will resolve backwards, and we're going to get an Explode-A-Rocket Dragon. They are going to play Ray. We will then Link summon into Borrel Dragon. Okay, I do want to point out that at this moment, I should have summoned Borrel Sword Dragon. Why? Because even if you use Borrel Sword Dragon's effect to target one of your rocket monsters and use this effect to destroy itself and do whatever it does, then you still actually get to attack twice with Borrel Sword. So I would have easy lethal damage if I did that. In this case, I was on a very tight timer, and you'll find that a lot in this deck, right? You got to think about the combo line. And I saw the flashing red lights. You know how it gets in Duel Links, and I just clicked the first one that I saw. It ended up working out fine, so just keep watching. But just for the most part, summon Borrel Sword most of the time. The only time you want to summon Borrel Dragon is if they have a monster that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects or destroyed by battle, some like ridiculously impossible monster to deal with. Then in that case, you would want to use Borrel Dragon to attack into it and suck it up and remove it that way. But for the most part, just summon Borrel Sword. 9 times out of 10, it's just better. Anyway, let's get back into it. Giving them very few opportunities to interact. Now, we're going to activate Melody of the Awakening Dragon, discarding our Necrofusion. At this point, I only had one Chaos Dragon Leviathan in my deck. Disregard that. You can search 2 copies of Chaos Dragon Leviathan. Then we are going to summon Chaos Dragon Leviathan by banishing Explode-A-Rocket Dragon, Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, and Blue Eyes White Dragon. On summon, we have a trigger effect. We're going to declare Chaos Dragon Leviathan's effect. Then, in response, they will activate Ray. Ray's effect will tribute itself to summon out a Link monster. They are chaining to themselves a Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor will then target Chaos Dragon Leviathan. But we are able to chain Rocket Tracer in response to their Widow Anchor, destroying our own Chaos Dragon Leviathan before they get their negate off. We're protecting our Leviathan. Leviathan will be destroyed. We're going to summon out our Magna Rocket Dragon. And because Chaos Dragon Leviathan left the field, before Widow Anchor could properly resolve, it is gonna miss. We still get our effect out. They're gonna summon out everything. We can destroy their Link monster, destroy their field spell. They got nothing. We're gonna make sure they have no chance of winning this game. They're gonna summon out the Ray. We're gonna activate Borrel Dragon, targeting our Magna Rocket Dragon. When Magna Rocket Dragon is targeted, we can destroy itself to send one monster they control to the graveyard. Get out of here. We're gonna activate Double Disruptor Dragon. Double Disruptor Dragon will then search our deck for Rapid Trigger. This is our follow-up play. But at this point, you might be thinking, how are we going to win this game? We do not have lethal damage on board. Well, fortunately for us, we actually haven't even normal summoned yet. We're going to set 1, activate Galactic Spiral Dragon. When we control 2 light or dark dragon monsters, we can freely summon it to the field. We have Borrel Riot Dragon. Borrel Riot Dragon's effect says we can destroy any card on our hand or field to either add itself or any rocket monster from our graveyard to our hand. We're adding Magna Rocket Dragon, destroying our Galactic Spiral Dragon. Now, we're just going to normal summon our Magna Rocket Dragon and attack for lethal damage. This was crazy. We completely outplayed them, and they had nothing they could do next turn. We can summon out our Borrel Furious Dragon. Also next turn, we can quick effect target our Magna Rocket Dragon. We'll be able to non-target remove one of their monsters. Right. Facing off against a very sweaty player. They're playing Sherry LeBlanc. Presumably, this is DeFleur. I'm gonna go second. Alright, they are playing DeFleur. We're gonna start off by summoning Infernoble Knight. I don't know how to pronounce that, but let's go. Let's go to some combos. They're about to do Fleur things. Overall, doing pretty good. Activating the skill. We're going to synchro summon into Old Entity Hastor, letting us just climb through. Revolution DeFleur is a crazy skill. Let's skip through all of this. All right, let's see what their end board is. All right, so their end board is Emperor Charles, and a Link Haribo. Okay, Emperor Charles. If an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, destroy 1 card on the field. I don't think there's a way they're able to proc that during our turn. Let's look at this. Noble Arms Excalibur makes it so we can't target Emperor Charles with card effects. Also, Infernoble Knight Ogier. When this Infernoble Knight is equipped to a monster, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So we have a 3,500 beat stick that can't be targeted by card effects, can't be destroyed by card effects, and if we attempt to beat over in battle, they can protect it with Link Karibo. This is an almost indestructible monster. How are we gonna out this, especially with this hand? Let's do it. We're going to start off by normal summoning Rocket Tracer. On summon, we're going to activate Quick Launch, chaining the Rocket Tracer to destroy the Quick Launch, to then summon out Magna Rocket Dragon as well as Explode Rocket Dragon. We're going to activate the skill playing our quad Borrel Dragon just because they have monsters. And then we're going to Link Summon into Borrel Sword Dragon. Then we're going to activate Borrel Sword Dragon's effect. We're going to target our Magna Rocket Dragon. When it's targeted by a Link monster's effect, you can destroy it and send one monster on the field to the graveyard. The reason why this is so important is because let's look at the protections. We can't target it and we can't destroy it, but we can send it to the graveyard. So we are going to activate Magna Rocket Dragon and send their Charles to the graveyard. That completely board wipes them. Now the only thing we need to play through is a Link Karibo. So we're going to activate our skill, sending both Double Disruptor as well as Galactic Spiral Dragon to the graveyard. Then we're going to search our Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon from our deck to the graveyard. We're going to summon it out into attack position. We're going to set the lance. We're going to attack into him. He's forced to activate Link Karibo. Alright, we're going to attack face. Then our Borrel Sword Dragon will go through. But because Borrel Sword Dragon activated its effect earlier to target the Magna Rocket Dragon, we get a second attack, giving us lethal. We destroyed an indestructible monster. That's how you do it. Alright, let's get into the next replay. Facing off against a Yuto, so we're probably playing against Phantom Knights if I had to guess. Alright, so this is going to be a turn 1 play that we can do. Let's go. Yes, they are playing Phantom Knights. We actually started with 2 Levianeer. 2 Levianeer and a Tracer with an Effect Veiler. This could be a pretty bad hand, but let's see what we can do with it. We're going to activate our skill, revealing Levianeer. We're going to send Double Disruptor as well as Borrel Riot Dragon to the graveyard. And we're going to search Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. We're going to send Blue Eyes to special summon it. We're going to normal summon a Rocket Tracer. Rocket Tracer will then target itself to special summon Explode Rocket Dragon from the deck. We're going to activate Borrel Riot Dragon, destroy our Explode Rocket, add the Borrel Riot to the hand, then Double Disruptor, searching the Heavy Interlock. Activate Heavy Interlock by sending a Chaos Dragon Levianeer from our hand to the graveyard. We will Ritual Summon Borrel Riot Dragon. This is really good because we can negate some of their summons. We have enough material. We're going to banish 3 Darks, come forth, Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Levianeer on summon will hand rip one of them. At this point, we can stop an Xyz summon, and we've hand ripped them. What can they do? We're going to start off by activating Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is the most broken card in this meta right now. Completely stopped us in our tracks. Well, we're going to activate the skill. We're going to do Phantom Knight shenanigans. But we still do have an Effect Veiler. We're not going to Effect Veiler the Torn skills. Instead, we're going to wait. We're going to wait because they are going to summon a Break Sword. We want to keep our guys on the board. They're going to summon Break Sword, attempt to activate Break Sword, and then we will negate that with our Effect Veiler. Alright, well, they do have a skill that does everything for them, so we're just instead going to send it to the graveyard and summon Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon for free. Activate Silent Boots, search the rank up spell, which we're just going to activate, letting us rank up into Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon. This is a negate. We're going to activate our trap card, letting them destroy the Borrel Riot Dragon, and they're going to destroy our Levianeer. Fortunately, we did keep a card in play, which allowed us to draw a card off Book of Eclipse. We're now going to normal summon our Explode Rocket Dragon, activate our Borrel Riot Dragon to then target itself to search it. But, like a fool, they decided to negate us. Why do we do that? Because we have a skill. The skill lets us get Quad Borrel Dragon. We're now going to link off into Borrel Sword Dragon. They've already used their negate. Now, we're going to attempt to attack into with Borrel Sword Dragon. They're going to lower our attack, but we just gain the attack of their monster anyway. And we've successfully put them in defense position. So we are going to be able to deal 3,700 damage, okay? Now we're going to activate Quick Launch. This should just give us lethal, but why did we summon Rocket Tracer? You can't actually attack with this monster. So we're going to get around this by summoning Rocket Tracer, which can target itself to summon another one from the deck. So we're going to summon Exploder Rocket. Now we're going to attempt to go for lethal, but here's the thing. They had Phantom Knight's Wing in the graveyard. This lets him summon Break Sword from the graveyard. But that actually doesn't matter because Borrel Sword Dragon is a quick effect to target one attack position monster we control. We control Exploder Rocket. Exploder Rocket, when it's targeted by a face-up Link monster, you can destroy it, and both players take 1,000 damage, meaning we have lethal through the Exploder Rocket Dragon. We saw it all coming. We did it. Okay, let's read this skill. Fight! That's a whole lot of text. What does that mean in terms of a game? Basically, any level 7 or higher dragon monster in your hand will then be able to send 2 monsters from your deck to the graveyard. You're going to be able to search your Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. Most of the time, you're probably going to send Double Disruptor Dragon and Borrel Riot Dragon, okay? That is your worst case scenario. So what does Double Disruptor Dragon do in the graveyard, but you can banish it and search Rapid Trigger, or you can search Heavy Interlock. That's really important because Rapid Trigger is your fusion spell. It's a quick play fusion spell. Heavy Interlock, that's how you summon your Borrel Riot Dragon. Borrel Riot Dragon has an effect where you can destroy a card in your hand and or field and then add it from your graveyard back to your hand. So the skill lets you dump both of these, search Rapid Trigger or Heavy Interlock, also add Borrel Riot Dragon to your hand. That's really, really good. And because this deck runs so many level 8s or monsters that want to be destroyed, Borrel Riot Dragon is easily summonable. But is that the best thing you can be doing? No, that is not the best play that you can be doing. It is included, but there's more to this deck than just the skill. And that's because we're on Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This deck is more of a Levianeer deck than it is a Dragon Link deck. That is what I've realized. Let's take a look. Chaos Dragon Levianeer, I'm sure needs no introduction. That is our turn 1 play. We hand rip them, and they start with 1 less card. And then if you use both light and dark monsters, destroy 2 cards on the field. Non-target destruction. That is such a busted effect. What is our light monster? Well, our light monster that we're going to be banishing is Blue Eyes White Dragon and or Effect Veiler. How do we get Blue Eyes in our graveyard? Because we can't summon it because our skill locks us into only dark monsters. That's where Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon comes in. Black Meteor Dragon is insane. This lets you send 1 level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or your deck to the graveyard to special summon it to the field. That's a free special summon, and it dumps Blue Eyes into the grave. Yes, if you draw Blue Eyes, it is a Garnet, so you cannot summon it. But here's the thing. The skill lets you reveal any level 7 or higher dragon monster. So even if you have Blue Eyes in your hand, it still makes your skill live. And you don't get punished. After activating your skill, you're still going to search the Black Meteor Dragon. You just missed out on an extra card, but you're still in play. You're not screwed. You can still play the game. Let's say you have a pretty good hand. You could already have Double Disruptor. You could already have Borrel Riot. What are some other cards you want to send to the graveyard? You want to send Galactic Spiral Dragon. If this card's in your hand or your graveyard and you control 2 light and or dark dragon type monsters, this is a free special summon. On top of that, you can make all your dragon types on your field level 8 until the end phase. That's important because Borrel Riot Dragon is actually level 8. So you can use Galactic Spiral Dragon to make any one of your lower level dragon monsters the exact amount of material to ritual summon your Borrel Riot Dragon. Your Heavy Interlock doesn't function like a regular ritual spell, and you can actually destroy rocket monsters on your field to proc their effects. During the end phase, Magna Rocket, Exploder Rocket, and Auto Rocket all special summon another rocket monster from the deck if they were destroyed on the field. That means that if you were to make any of your rockets level 8 through Galactic Spiral Dragon's effect and you destroy them with Heavy Interlock to summon your Borrel Riot Dragon, during the end phase, you get to freely special summon another rocket monster from the deck. This plays very similar to Rockets did. Let's actually go over the Rocket cards. Rocket Tracer is the best card in the deck, but why are we not running Silverrokket Dragon? Let's look at Silverrokket Dragon. This card is limit 3 for a reason. It is really strong. When a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this card, as a quick effect, you can destroy this card. You can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it. So that's really busted. And you'd think that this would actually be a high priority card to have in your deck. In fact, it's limit 3. Why are we not running it? The reason why we're not playing Silverrokket Dragon is because it takes so many resources to commit to that play. It takes a Link 2 and also getting this on your board. That's actually a heavy investment, and all for what? You're ripping 1 card from their extra deck, which in a lot of cases actually is really good. But a lot of the time, your opponents are playing around this card. They're playing multiples in their extra deck. And for the decks that do have their limit ones there that are oppressive, like Lyrilisk, for example, they'll just outplay you anyway. And they don't even need that card. They're still going to shit on you because all you have is a Silverrokket Dragon and a Link 2 monster. It's not actually that good. Instead, we want to make our Chaos Dragon Levianeer more consistent. We're running 5 copies in this deck. You're gonna get this card. Honestly, it's way easier to resolve Levianeer. You just use your graveyard materials, which you're gonna send anyway, because the skill and Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon sets it up for you. And then also, the hand rip is still really strong. I found the only times that I really lost is when I didn't resolve Levianeer. If you resolve it turn 1, odds are you're probably going to win. You're going to out-card advantage your opponent. If you resolve it turn 2, you just blew up 2 cards on the field and then you link it off and win the game. Alright, now I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please let me know. I know it just got demoted from the tier list, but we're still playing it. Also, I just started streaming. Feel free to catch me there. Alright, and with all that being said, I will see you in the next one.